Welcome to Beneath the Surface, the dark side of crime. In today's chilling case, we explore the tragic life and untimely death of Lauren McClusky, a bright, athletic young woman whose promising future was cut short by a man with a dark past. Despite multiple cries for help, Lauren's life was taken in an act of violence, and the very institutions meant to protect her failed her. This case is a haunting reminder of the dangers of neglect, manipulation, and a broken system. Chapter 1. The Bright Beginnings. Lauren McClusky was everything a parent could hope for in a child. Growing up in a small town in Washington, she had a passion for athletics and academics alike. Lauren's natural talent in track and field made her stand out in high school, where she excelled in a variety of disciplines. It was no surprise when she earned a scholarship to the University of Utah, where she would continue her athletic career and pursue a degree in communications. At Utah, Lauren's life seemed destined for greatness. She was an exceptional student, excelling in her classes, and was a standout on the track team, specializing in the heptathlon, a grueling combination of 7 events that tested both speed and strength. She quickly became one of the team's top athletes, impressing her coaches and peers alike with her dedication and talent. But beneath the surface of her busy college life, Lauren's world would soon unravel. Chapter 2. The Meeting with Sean Fields. In September 2018, Lauren's life took a fateful turn when she met Sean Fields. One Friday night, she and a friend went out to a local club near campus. It was there that she first crossed paths with Sean. A 28-year-old bouncer at the club, Sean was charismatic and confident, immediately drawing Lauren's attention. They talked for hours, and by the end of the night, they had exchanged phone numbers. The next day, they met for dinner, and Lauren was swept off her feet. Sean was charming and attentive, constantly showering her with compliments. He took her to dinner, bought her flowers, and made her feel special. Lauren was elated, excited by the chemistry between them. Little did she know, this seemingly perfect relationship would soon turn into something dangerous. Chapter 3. Red Flags Emerge. As Lauren and Sean's relationship progressed, subtle red flags began to emerge. At first, Sean seemed like the ideal boyfriend. He was protective, caring, and thoughtful. But as time passed, Lauren started to notice his increasingly controlling behavior. Sean began to ask her to dress a certain way, sometimes even dictating what she could wear when she went out with friends. He would call her constantly, demanding to know where she was, who she was with, and when she would return. If she didn't respond immediately, he would accuse her of hiding something. Lauren tried to dismiss these behaviors as insecurities due to Sean's past relationships, but deep down, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was wrong. As the weeks went by, Lauren found herself distancing from her friends. She stopped hanging out with them and began spending all her time with Sean. Her friends became concerned and reached out to the university's residency hall workers, who had also noticed Sean's frequent presence at the dormitory. They began to worry about Lauren's well-being, especially when they learned that Sean had bought her a can of pepper spray and suggested she carry it everywhere. Despite these concerns, Lauren continued to make excuses for Sean, convinced that his behavior would improve with time. However, the situation only worsened. Chapter 4. The Shocking Revelation. The turning point came one day when Lauren stumbled upon something that would shake her to her core. While going through Sean's personal belongings, she found his driver's license, and it didn't match the name he had given her. His real name was Melvin Sean Rowland, and he was much older than he had told her. Over a decade older, in fact. Shocked, Lauren immediately began researching Melvin online. What she found was even more disturbing. Melvin wasn't just a college student and bouncer. He was a convicted sex offender. In 2004, Melvin had been convicted of enticing a minor and attempted forcible sexual abuse. He had served 9 years in prison and was released on parole in 2013. She realized that her relationship with Melvin had been built on lies, and she needed to end things immediately. But breaking up with him wasn't going to be easy. Melvin had already shown signs of possessiveness and manipulation, and Lauren knew he wouldn't let her go without a fight. Chapter 5. The Breakup and Its Consequences. Lauren decided to confront Melvin. On October 9, 2018, she called him and tried to break up with him. However, Melvin apologized for his past actions, claiming that the accusations against him were lies. He explained the charges were the result of a misunderstanding when the alleged victim had claimed she was older than she actually was. Lauren was hesitant, but, with the support of her friends, decided that it was best to end the relationship for good. Despite the breakup, she loaned Melvin her car for the day, hoping to make things as amicable as possible. It was this one act of kindness that would later prove to be her biggest mistake. Chapter 6. The Texts and the Blackmail. After the breakup, Lauren received a series of disturbing texts. Some claimed that Melvin had died, while others seemed to suggest that he was still alive. The texts grew increasingly bizarre, with one message stating that Melvin's funeral was taking place and asking if Lauren wanted to attend. Lauren realized that someone was trying to lure her into a dangerous situation. Things took a darker turn when Lauren received a message demanding $11,000. The sender claimed to have compromising photos of Lauren and Melvin and threatened to release them unless Lauren paid the ransom. Fearful for her reputation and safety, Lauren paid the money, sending it through Venmo to an unknown account. She later realized that the person blackmailing her was likely Melvin himself, manipulating her yet again. Lauren called the campus police department once more, but they dismissed the situation as a simple scam. Once again, they failed to take any real action, leaving Lauren vulnerable. Chapter 7. The Police Failures. Lauren continued to reach out to campus police, but each time her calls were ignored or brushed off. When she went in person to report the blackmail, the officers downplayed the situation, suggesting it was nothing more than a common scam. Despite providing Melvin's name and background as a registered sex offender, the police refused to take her seriously. Lauren's fear grew as she realized the authorities were doing nothing to protect her. She began to feel like a burden, as if her constant calls for help were annoying the very people she was supposed to rely on. She had no idea that, weeks earlier, Melvin had accessed her private communications by logging into her email account and saving her passwords. Chapter 8. The Final Moments. On October 22, 2018, Lauren received yet another disturbing call, this time claiming to be from a deputy chief at the University Police Department. He requested that she come to the station to look at evidence, but warned her not to call back, as he would be in a meeting. Lauren, suspicious, chose not to reply, and instead went to a scheduled counseling session. Later, she walked across campus toward her dorm, unaware that Melvin was watching her every move. Dressed as Deadpool, he wandered around the parking lot outside her dorm, waiting for the perfect moment to strike. When Lauren entered the dorm, he missed her by only a few seconds. Chapter 9. The Murder. Later that evening, Melvin cornered Lauren as she walked back to her dorm. He confronted her, dragged her into his car, and shot her 7 times at point-blank range. The sound of her screams echoed through the campus, and her parents heard the horrific noise over the phone. They immediately called 911, but by the time police arrived, it was too late. The campus police had been warned about Melvin multiple times. They had all the information they needed to stop him, but they failed to act. Lauren was dead, and there was nothing anyone could do to bring her back. Chapter 10. The aftermath and justice. The news of Lauren McClusky's tragic death shook the University of Utah and its surrounding community to its core. As the investigation unfolded, it became clear that the campus police department had been given multiple opportunities to intervene and prevent the devastating outcome. Lauren's repeated calls for help had gone unanswered or were dismissed as trivial concerns. Despite her reaching out with alarming evidence, the campus police failed to take swift and decisive action. As the investigation into Lauren's murder began, the officers were confronted with the undeniable facts. Melvin Sean Rowland was not only a known sex offender, but had been given numerous chances to strike because of the incompetence displayed by those who were supposed to protect Lauren. The officers were aware of Melvin's criminal background, and yet no immediate steps were taken to investigate him more thoroughly. It was revealed that he had been involved in a series of manipulative and abusive relationships in the past, using his charm to lure unsuspecting women into his web of lies. The moment of reckoning came when investigators uncovered the disturbing truth. The police had known about Melvin's behavior and had even been warned by Lauren's concerned friends, dormitory staff, and even faculty members who had witnessed his increasingly erratic behavior. Yet, nothing was done. In a twist that angered Lauren's family and the public alike, it was discovered that Melvin had been able to access Lauren's personal information through her phone and email. He had been able to monitor her communications with the police, and by doing so, he remained one step ahead. This manipulation played a role in Lauren's growing fear and isolation. The McCluskey family, devastated by the loss of their daughter, had no choice but to take legal action. They filed a lawsuit against the University of Utah, accusing the campus police of gross negligence. The lawsuit highlighted the university's failure to investigate Melvin's background, failure to respond to Lauren's cries for help, and the overall lack of security that led to her tragic death. In 2020, the McCluskey family reached a settlement with the university. The University of Utah agreed to pay $10.5 million in damages. While no amount of money could bring back their beloved daughter, the settlement sent a message to institutions across the country. Student safety must be taken seriously, and the failures of the system cannot go unpunished. Alongside the financial compensation, the McCluskey family created the Lauren McCluskey Foundation, which was established to promote campus safety and ensure that other students would not have to endure the same type of neglect that Lauren had suffered. The foundation focuses on providing education, resources, and safety protocols to improve the way campus law enforcement responds to sexual harassment, stalking, and other forms of abuse. The University of Utah also vowed to improve its campus safety policies, implementing new training for its officers on how to better respond to victims of domestic abuse and stalking. The university also took steps to build a new indoor track training facility, which was named in Lauren's honor. While these efforts were commendable, they were not enough to erase the heartache that would forever remain in the McCluskey family's hearts. In addition to the university's actions, there were other repercussions for Melvin's criminal associates. It was revealed that Melvin had obtained a firearm illegally through a convicted felon, Nathan Vogel, who had persuaded his girlfriend to buy the gun for him. If Melvin hadn't gotten access to that gun, Lauren's death might have been avoided. The authorities pressed charges against Vogel for his role in providing Melvin with the weapon. Vogel later pled guilty, and the McCluskey family supported the sentence, seeking justice for their daughter. While these legal proceedings brought some measure of justice, the McCluskey family was left with a profound sense of loss. Lauren's life had been full of promise, and it was cut short by a series of failures in the very systems designed to protect her. The settlement and the formation of the foundation would ensure that Lauren's legacy lived on, but it was bittersweet. The tragic death of Lauren McClusky is a heart-wrenching example of how a broken system can fail to protect the very individuals it is meant to safeguard. This story underscores the need for accountability and change in the way campus security and law enforcement handle cases of harassment, stalking, and abuse. Lauren's repeated cries for help went unanswered, and in the end, the cost was her life. The McCluskey family's pursuit of justice is a testament to their courage and determination to honor their daughter's memory. Their efforts led to real change within the University of Utah, and their establishment of the Lauren McCluskey Foundation has given a voice to those who may otherwise be ignored or forgotten. Through their advocacy, they have worked tirelessly to improve campus safety, ensuring that no other student has to experience what Lauren did. But while the university has taken steps to improve its security measures and raise awareness about the dangers of stalking and abuse, the responsibility lies with all of us. It is crucial that we, as a society, listen to the voices of those who are at risk and take swift action when they speak out. The failures of the campus police were not just a tragic oversight. They were a failure of society to take responsibility for the safety of its most vulnerable members. In the aftermath of Lauren's death, the broader conversation about the treatment of women, the importance of believing survivors, and the accountability of institutions must continue. It is a sad truth that Lauren's story is not unique. There are countless others who have experienced similar neglect and violence. The McCluskey family's pursuit of justice has illuminated the critical need for systemic change, not only on college campuses, but across the country. Lauren McCluskey's death cannot be in vain. Her legacy will continue to inspire efforts to reform campus safety policies, raise awareness about the dangers of stalking and abuse, and fight for the protection of those who need it the most. Thank you for joining us as we remember Lauren McCluskey, a life tragically cut short, but whose legacy lives on through the efforts of her family and the Lauren McCluskey Foundation. If you found this case compelling, please like the video, leave your thoughts in the comments below, and subscribe to Beneath the Surface, the dark side of crime, for more gripping true crime stories. Hit the notification bell to stay updated with our latest videos. Always stay vigilant and never ignore the warning signs, because you never know what might be lurking in the shadows.